there. Let's come back to Nairobi, where our reporter Zinzi Kibiku is at the Moi Avenue Primary School. Zinzi, this is one of the polling stations that recorded a high voter turnout in the August 8th election. How is the situation now? What are the numbers like?
All right, Akisa, I cannot give you the detailed numbers of this, but we've been here since morning. It's one of the locations that I've been around to. In the morning, it was actually busier than as you can see it right now. There were longer queues. Right now, things have sort of slowed down. But before I can even dive into details on how this specific area looked like in terms of voters coming out, let us talk to Sakaja, the Senator of Nairobi, here with us. He joined us. Sakaja, thank you so much. First of all, I'm told that you already cast your ballot today. Yes. You're going round to observe?
Yes, I did cast my ballot at Dagoretti North in St. George's Primary School. So now I'm going on with my rounds to see how the situation is in the rest of the city. And so far, it's not looking bad, it's looking good. The numbers are coming out more and more. I'm just from the NSSF ground in the same constituency, and they're about 38%. I've not been able to find out the percentages here so far, but I think it should be around the same because the lines were longer in the morning, and then the rest adapt our wait and see attitude and come out later, just to make sure all is calm. There's been some anxiety, but beyond that, I think it's just beautiful to see those who wish to express their will being able to come out and express their will, and those who are not expressing their will are staying at home, apart from around 3 wards out of the 85 in Nairobi where there's been some violence.
Speaking of which, do you still believe that this specific election will be the last election in the sense that we'll now go back to how things were running before in terms of, or do you see us going back to the Supreme Court? What do you see? What do you forecast?
You know, we have a constitution that provides an almost endless election cycle if it's not stopped at some point. But in this case, it's my prayer and hope that this will be it, that we'll finish and be able to, swear in a president. Whoever wins this election, of course, my candidate, but the person who wins this election should be sworn in so that we can move on to other things as a country. But the current legal framework we have as a country can actually keep us in an endless cycle of perpetuity where we just stay in an election cycle. That alone is harming our economy and harming democracy as we speak.
Sakaja, you are one of the youngest leaders this nation has ever seen. Young people are the ones who came out to vote in large numbers back in August 8th, as of right now as well. But they're also the same people who we're seeing on the ground during protests. What are your thoughts towards this?
I think the first person that I would blame is leaders like me, because I think there's much more that we should be able to have done. So these young people are not waiting for 500 shillings to go riot and put their lives on the line. A lot of these young people, and which it's my biggest task as Senator of Nairobi, are disillusioned, they're hopeless, they don't have jobs, they're unemployed, and it's up to us to be able to give them some hope and something to do. But I'll tell all political leaders to stop misusing these young people. You can't expect just because of your own ambition that a young person goes there to sacrifice his life in the line of danger for you to gain power. It's really unfair, and it's a sad situation in our country. If the lot of young people, if the economic well-being was different, you'd not see riots anywhere. You're a young person, I don't see you throwing stones, and many others would not, because you're well off. And I think that's something we need to deal with. The inciting language, etc. We've not been able to see a strong enough cohesion commission that has been able, because of the legal framework again, to put behind bars those who incite, from whichever part of the political divide they come from. And that's the kind of poisonous politics that we need to move on as a country, move from.
Very quickly, the international observers as well as the local ones as well. Do you have confidence in them?
You see, the work of an observer is just to observe and to note what they observe. So I have no problem with observers. The ultimate decision and the ultimate voice that is important is the voice of the voter, And, this thing that we take casually, being able to line up and choose your leader, is something that very many countries don't do. It's something that Kenyans died for. We fought for self-determination. That is the most clear expression of the sovereignty of a country, the ability to go to an election and choose a leader. So the focus, and our constitution recognizes all sovereign power is the people's. The focus must be on the people, not on observers, not on NGOs, not on other commentators, but the people of Kenya. And this is how